So today we are here to, let's say, explore the mentality of a writer and not a usual writer, and let's say how the connection with nature pans out in the writing. Joel, could you please introduce yourself and what do you do for business?
Hi there. Yeah, nice to meet you and be here. My name's Joel, Joel Schueler, and I am a writer of fiction, non-fiction as well. I've done a bit of non-fiction and poetry, and also all sorts of other writing, comedy, music, um, pretty much anything you can write. I try to write. So yeah, lots of different interests with writing.
So my question here, let's start on a different note. Like, how would you describe your passion for writing? How does writing affect you?
Um, yeah, that's an interesting question. I suppose in some sense it can be like quite therapeutic in a way, um, especially um, sometimes you can find yourself in, emotions get kind of built up or situations in life um, where maybe you can't vocalize those things on a daily basis as easily for whatever reason. But then you get a pen and it comes out, maybe not directly, but maybe it comes out indirectly in some way or another. And then there's always usually like a slant on it as well. So maybe a fictitious slant often. And just to try and sort of make it more appealing, I suppose, for other people, because not everybody wants to hear about you and your life and what you're doing. So sometimes you've got to think about the wider picture as well.
Okay,
And
so yeah, go ahead, Joel. I'm
yeah,
listening. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah. So I'm just trying to think about other ways, really. So how else does it affect me? I mean, it affects me in as much as it's something I'm passionate about, and I've wanted to do for a long time, and so I don't really have much time for other things, really. It kind of does take over. And even when you can be in bed at 3 in the morning, you might get an idea then, which can be quite annoying. But but you never really stop writing, really. And I think a lot of writers will sort of relate to that, I think.
Okay.
Um, so
Yes.
yeah, so it does affect a large part of my life.
So my question here, you have been related to nature. It seems, could you take us on a journey how you came up and how you wrote your novel, Jim and Martha, a novel on eco living?
Yeah, yeah. So I was at the time, I'd had quite sort of normal jobs that I didn't really enjoy, and yeah, office jobs and that kind of thing. And then just out of curiosity more than anything else, I just had a look on YouTube at different videos and read different articles online about people who um, were living on very little money or living without money, and I was also there was also quite a sort of dark side of why I got interested on this subject as well, because at the time um, I was getting quite interested in reading about the Manson family, Charles Manson, and the terrible murders that they committed, and I was just sort of interested in it for different reasons, the sort of psychological aspects of it, and the fact that there were these young people who were kind of hippies, really, and and kind of taking lots of different substances and experiencing youth in quite an alternative way, and then they turned into murderers, and it was it's pretty horrific story, but it's very interesting, and so I was reading about that a lot of the time. But the reason that I say that connection is because it happened on a commune, you see, which is the connection there as well. I mean, it's a very sort of dark connection. I mean, none of my characters don't think are murderers, but yeah, that was another reason as well, just because I was reading about people being on a commune. And so yeah, the two things really, I'd say those two things were what led me, that and sort of reading inspiring and listening to inspiring stories about people, and like just working on the land, really going back to nature, and more being more in touch of nature, like as what's the word? They're like a Taoist, if you like Taoism, or that kind of early Chinese thinking of, and Confucianism as well, I suppose, and being in touch with nature, and Buddhism, and yeah, all that kind of stuff. And I was just interested in that, and just wondering, like, all these like nice home comforts we have, do we really need them? Is there another way, a simpler way that we can better help ourselves and the planet?
Okay, so my next question here, like, how much does nature affect you?
Yeah, so it does affect me. I mean, I love the sun. So I mean, if I was living, you're in Cairo, right? So I mean, if I had the weather that you have, I'd probably be out every day, like going for walks, because I absolutely love the sun. So I mean, obviously I'm in the UK, so we don't get very, at the moment it's not very good weather, but in the summer it's can be quite nice. So I'll go when it's nice in the sun. I'll go out every day, and I might even walk for 3 or 4 hours. We've got a nice canal near to where I live, so I might walk down there, and I'll never just walk without any sort of purpose, if you like, just going for a walk. I never like just go for a walk. I always trying to incorporate some writing in it as well. So I'll be listening on my headphones to often something on YouTube, maybe just like an audio book, or poetry, or fiction, something to inspire me whilst I'm writing. So I can combine the two really. I get a good exercise, and then I'll also get some writing done as well. So and it's just nicer than being stuck at home. It's a nicer way of writing. So yeah, nature is very important to me, but unfortunately, I'm not very good at going out in nature when it's cold. I'm only good at going out in nature when it's nice weather.
Okay, so my next question is, like, what can spark your mind into, let's say, thinking and producing an idea for a novel?
Yeah, that's a difficult one really, because I mean, I guess the sort of boring answer, but I guess the most obvious answer would be is that it depends really, and it can be anything from, like, instances in life, some sort of strange characters you might come across, or quirky characters that are a bit different from the norm that inspire you, or different situations, or it, even something you've watched or you've enjoyed reading. So it really can be all sorts of different things. I mean, for the last novel, I'd say, well, I suppose I mentioned the two kind of things that inspired that, but then I also did a short story recently called COVID Kiss, which was like a comedy about the COVID situation. So I guess that would be like a more of a kind of life, a current life situation, and then putting a sort of humorous spin on that, to just give people a bit of light relief in a difficult time. And yeah, so I quite like to write about things that happen in life, rather than I've always been drawn more to trying to make something beautiful or interesting out of like something very minimalist, or quite like a normal life, if you like, someone's normal life, and just looking at the intricacies of that, rather than going off down like the sort of more massively imaginative, arena where it's all kind of made up and it's, you know, fantastical or science sci-fi. Although, I mean, that's not to say I don't enjoy that. I mean, I do enjoy elements of sci-fi and fantasy, and I would like to go down those routes at some point in the future. But up till now, it's usually based on real life, and I like getting in touch with the human condition, very just complex and like very deep stuff to do with humans and their relations with each other, the human condition, and then often putting, like, looking at it from a serious point of view, but also looking at it from usually putting like a humorous spin on it as well.
So my next point is, how do you educate yourself?
I guess reading is the best way, really, and reading stuff that I enjoy, but then maybe don't enjoy as well. Because I think if you just read stuff that you've read before, or you know, you can sort of narrow your potential, really. And I think it's good maybe to try and branch out and read other stuff as well that you might not like, and then okay, but at least then you tried, and you don't know till you try. So I suppose reading really is the best way to educate myself. I mean, I watch a tiny bit of TV, but not really. Like, I watch maybe about half an hour of TV a day, just when I might watch the news, current affairs, or. But I don't really watch TV. I don't really. I don't watch like films as much as I would like. Really, I don't really sort of take the time out to watch films and get educated that way. So I guess I watched like lots of silly YouTube videos, but I don't know if you class that as educating yourself or just kind of relaxing, really. But sometimes with those silly videos, you can be educated as well. Sometimes, so yeah, but mainly reading.
Great. So my next question is, like, what would you like the other people to know about your wallet?
Sorry. What would I like other people to know about me?
Yes, about your thinking,
Um,
about your daily habits, about how you produce your writing.
I see. Yeah. Well, I guess I'm more of a afternoon and evening person, really. I don't really, not much of a morning person. And then I'll have a cup of coffee. First thing I'll do, get a bit of adrenaline going, and a bit of yeah. So that's the way I'll start, really. And I try to sort of think about what I'm going to be doing for the day, so I have some sort of focus. And I would have probably thought about it the night before, just like a few things that I'll focus on. And a key thing I would say as well is, and I don't know, maybe other people can take something from this if they're sort of sometimes like struggling to get motivated. But sometimes I find it's quite good to have something ready on your computer, or doesn't have to be computer, wherever you write stuff, like a notepad or whatever, but just have something there to look at, that can then give you, say, oh, okay, the first thing that you look at when you wake up, or not wake up, but, you know, first get on with the day, um, just to give you that focus, so then you don't sort of get like waste like an hour or two and then like wonder, okay, what am I meant to be doing now? Where did I last pick up? Because the longer you leave it, the harder it can be to get into it. And especially if you're doing something quite deep that involves a lot of thinking, and you know, you don't want to keep putting it off, because I don't think, because just to have that focus at the start of the day, it's just something to, you know, to focus on, to think about for the day.
Can success be planned?
Um, yeah, that's an interesting question. I think, because I think that's different for a lot of people. I mean, um, I think over planning is bad, personally. but then maybe like having no plan at all and being completely spontaneous probably isn't a very good idea either. So finding like the happy medium, the middle way is probably the best way. So having some kind of a plan, because life is such that, you know, you can make the most elaborate kind of elaborate mazy map, if you like, or plan of how things are going to be. But life is such that, you know, that they don't, things don't often pan out how you expected them to for whatever reason. You know, life has lots of different curveballs. So I think really have a sort of a malleable, like a basic plan that's malleable, that you can change and add to as you go along. That seems to be what works for me anyway. Just like a very basic plan. I don't try and overthink it. But then I don't know. I mean, maybe for other people that might be different. Maybe they do have a big plan, or maybe some people just don't have any plan and they're successful as well. So I mean, I'm not really an example of someone who's successful, really. So I'm probably not the best person to ask. But I'm just trying to do. I think just trying to do what's best for you, really, for the individual.
Yeah, that is awesome. Okay, so my next question here, like through your writings, do you try to deliver or send certain messages?
Yeah, I think there is. I don't know. Maybe danger is too strong a word, but there is the problem, if you like, of perhaps being um, demagogic or didactic in your teachings, and kind of wanting to be prophetic, or wanting to say like, you know, everybody has to listen to what I'm going to say, and my big theories on the world. And I think there can be an unhealthy side to that, that is kind of egoists maybe, and not very healthy for you or for other people. So I think, but in saying that, you know, everybody has some kind of a message and a way that they live their lives. And so I try to incorporate some of that, I guess, of what I think is some messages, that life messages, if you like, that I try and stick to. So yeah, I'm a complete hypocrite, really. complete completely contradictory, but in a way, I guess I try to have my message, but then at the same time try not to, you know, if other people don't want to go that way, or don't follow your path, or believe something different, then that's fine, you know. I don't like to sort of ram things down people's throats. So yeah, but I think it's a difficult one as well in fiction as well, because you can have different characters with all sorts of different ways of being, and some of them can be very nice people, which have good messages in them, I suppose, but then not always related to you. So I guess that can be a good thing, because it can almost even teach you to be a better person by learning off some of your nicer characters. So yeah, I don't think messages are a bad thing, but I think maybe there's a responsibility of the writer to use it with some sort of care, maybe. That would be my approach to it anyway.
It has been more than amazing talking to you, Joel, and diving into your mind and how you get to write your novels. Thank you so much for that, indeed.
Oh, thanks so much. Yeah, thanks very much for having me on. Yeah, and I hope good luck to your the rest of your show.
Thank you.